Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. In this presentation, we will delve into the fascinating world of Kantian deontology, a cornerstone of moral philosophy, and examine its relevance in the age of artificial intelligence. Specifically, we will explore the ethical implications of submitting assignments generated by AI tools like ChatGPT, and how Kant's three formulations of the categorical imperative provide a structured framework for evaluating this modern dilemma. In today's academic landscape, the use of AI tools to assist with assignments is becoming increasingly common. However, this raises important ethical questions, especially when such use is undisclosed. In this presentation, I will critically examine the morality of submitting an assignment created entirely by an AI tool, such as ChatGPT, without informing the instructor. To assess this issue, we will turn to Kant's ethical framework, focusing on his three formulations of the categorical imperative, which offer a rigorous method for determining moral permissibility. Immanuel Kant was one of the most influential figures in Western philosophy. Was born in 1724 in Königsberg, Russia. He led a remarkably disciplined and scholarly life, rarely leaving his hometown. His seminal work, Critique of Pure Reason, published in 1788, revolutionized philosophical thought by challenging existing notions of knowledge, perception, and morality. Kant's contributions laid the foundation for modern ethical theory, and his ideas continue to resonate in contemporary debates on justice, autonomy, and the rule of reason in moral decision making. Kant's moral philosophy is grounded in the belief that reason is the ultimate source of moral guidance. He maintained that true moral laws must be universal and unconditional, meaning they apply to all rational beings at all times, regardless of personal interest or outcomes. According to Kant, ethical behavior is not about achieving desirable results, but about fulfilling one's duty. He made a crucial distinction between hypothetical imperatives, which are conditional and goal-oriented, and categorical imperatives, which command actions that are inherently right. This emphasis on duty and rationality forms the backbone of Kantian ethics. Immanuel Kant is widely regarded as the pioneer of modern deontological ethics, a moral theory that prioritizes duty and principles over outcomes. His rigorous approach to ethics has had a profound impact not only on philosophy but also on fields such as jurisprudence, political theory, and pedagogy. Philosophers like Hegel, Rawls, and Habermas have expanded upon Kant's ideas, adapting them to contemporary issues. Today, Kant's moral philosophy remains highly relevant, especially in discussions surrounding artificial intelligence, human rights, and social justice, where the needs for principled decision making is more critical than ever. Kantian ethics is fundamentally a duty-based moral theory, emphasizing that moral actions are those performed out of a sense of obligation rather than personal gain or emotional impulse. Kant argued that morality must be rooted in rationality and that moral principles should be applicable to all rational beings without exception. His concept of the categorical imperative serves as the cornerstone of this theory and is articulated through three distinct formulations. The formula of universal law, which tests the consistency of moral maxims. The formula of humanity, which insists on treating individuals as ends in themselves. And the formula of the kingdom of ends, which envisions a society governed by shared moral laws. Together, these formulations provide a comprehensive framework for ethical evaluation. To apply Kantian ethics in a practical context, let's consider a scenario that is increasingly relevant in today's academic environment. Imagine a student who submits an AI assignment that was entirely generated by an AI tool such as ChatGPT without disclosing this fact. The instructor, unaware of the AI's involvement, assumes the students authored the work. This situation raises significant ethical concerns related to honesty, intellectual authorship, and respect for others. Using Kant's three formulations of the categorical imperative, we will now analyze whether this action aligns with moral duty or constitutes a violation of ethical principle. The first formulation of Kant's categorical imperative challenges us to ask whether the principle behind an action could be applied universally without contradiction. In the scenario of submitting AI generating work as one's own, the underlying maxim might be, I will submit work created by an AI tool as my own to receive academic credit. If this maxim were adopted universally, the entire academic system would be undermined. The value of the assignment as a measure of individual understanding and effort would collapse, and the concept of the authorship would lose its meaning. This leads to a contradiction in the very purpose of education. Therefore, according to Kant's first formulation, the action is morally impermissible because it cannot be universalized without destroying the integrity of the system it relies on. Kant's second formulation emphasizes the intrinsic value of human beings and insists that we must treat others as ends in themselves, never merely as means to an end. In the case of submitting AI-generated work without disclosure, the student deceives the instructor, using them as a tool to obtain a grade. This act of deception disregards the instructor's rational agency and their role in evaluating genuine student learning. It also diminishes the student's own moral integrity by prioritizing convenience over honesty. Such behavior fails to uphold the dignity and respect that should characterize human interactions. According to this formulation, the student's action is a clear violation of moral duty. The third formulation of the categorical imperative envisions a moral community, a kingdom of ends, where all rational beings act according to universal moral laws and treats each other with respect and dignity. In such a community, values like honesty, transparency, and integrity are fundamental. Submitting AI generating work without disclosure undermines these shared values and disrupts the trust that holds the academic community together. This behavior would not be acceptable in the kingdom of ends, where individuals are expected to uphold moral principles and contribute to a just and peaceful and respectful society. Therefore, this action fails to meet the standards of a moral community and is ethically unacceptable. In conclusion, the act of submitting an AI-generated assignment as one's own fails to meet the criteria of all three formulations of Kant's categorical imperative. It cannot be universalized without contradiction. It treats others as mere means to an end, and it violates the principles of moral community. Kantian deontology provides a clear and consistent framework for evaluating such ethical dilemmas, and in this case, it leads us to the conclusion that the action is morally impermissible. As we navigate the evolving role of AI in education and society, it's essential to uphold ethical standards that respect human dignity, promote honesty, and preserve the integrity of our institutions. Thank you for your attention and engagement with this important ethical discussion.